Members of the UK's Olympic Delivery Authority, politicians and British athletes gathered at St Pancras Station in London to take the javelin train to Stratford to the east of the city. They were visiting the Olympic site 3 years before the 2012 Games begin. Those overseeing the project believe this is an important time in the development of the site, in preparation for one of the world's biggest sporting events.
It's a very significant moment. To say that we've just been into an Olympic stadium that a year and a half ago we were just cutting some soil from a cleared and ready to build site, to a point where we have something that looks like a stadium. In 2 years' time we'll have something that is completed, and in 3 years' time we'll be sitting here a few hours away from the opening ceremony. So great progress, big moment.
Just over a year ago this area was wasteland. Now the exterior of the main stadium is built and work on the infrastructure and other key buildings is well underway.
14 months ago there was nothing at all on the stadium site, hadn't even done the foundations or the piling, and now, as you can see, the roof structure is nearing completion, and most of the seating, the 55,000 temporary seats, will be finished within the next few months. And you can start to see on the other side the roof structure for the aquatic centre coming out of the ground, and within 2 months that main structure should be completed.
We've clearly got the big 5 construction projects, and that's working very, very well, but the same point also is that we need to make sure that all the other supplementary stuff, the infrastructure that needs to go in to make the stadiums work. And we got off to a very good start. You remember the first 2 years of this were about the planning, the remediation, the demolition, the putting in all the power cabling that needed to be there for providing not just the sporting venues, but the homes for thousands of Londoners who we want to live here over the next 50 years.
Now some of the key work on the buildings has progressed so well that the next phase can begin.
Now, of course, the site becomes a lot more congested, a lot more activity. The number of people working on the site's around 5,000. That'll double over the next year or so. So the park is now hitting peak production.
A key factor in London winning the 2012 Games was the fact that the work on the site would be done in a sustainable way. And this massive project has put the UK at the forefront of this type of expertise.
It would be far easier to take all the soil, bury it, bring new soil in, but it's not. It's all being cleaned on here, which reduces the impact to the residents with the lack of trucks, and also it's just totally, there's no point in burying the soil if you can reuse it. And that's just one example of so many things that are happening on this site that other mass projects will be looking at and wanting expertise from this country.
For Olympic and Paralympic athletes visiting the site, the impressive building work is giving them a feel of what it will be like when the Games are underway.
Every time I come here, it really hits home to think it's going to be here in London in 2012, and just to think of what it's going to be like, the scale of it is just going to be massive.
To see the way they've turned it around already and the legacy it's going to leave for the people, the local people, after the Games is gone, it can only be a good thing.
I'm amazed actually how quickly things have gone up. I remember looking on the website a couple of months ago and just seeing almost foundations of everything. To see that there's a full stadium here and all the seating's pretty much inside and ready to go, and the aquatic centre's like halfway full, and the velodrome's coming up out of the ground. It's amazing to see, and I'm excited for the next 3 years really.
Work on Britain's Olympic site is well underway and progressing well, and with just 3 years to go, the UK promises London will do justice to the Olympic ideals, spirit and legacy before and after 2012.